Alrighty, good afternoon YouTube. So we are here, '05 Cadillac STS with the HID factory headlights. And what we're going to be doing is swapping the Xenon housings out for the Halogen housings so I can run LED bulbs. So you're going to have to swap some wires around between the headlight plug. Well, yeah, between the old and new headlight plug. On the left is the new wire locations, on the right is the old. Now you can see where things are positioned. I don't know which one's which, other than black and green. So that'll be a little bit interesting. And I don't know yet if the colors on the right side are different than the left side. We will take a peek here if I can get it to release. Get it. Let's plug at the bottom of the headlight here at the very bottom. Gotta squeeze the tab, which can be really difficult. Alright, so here we are. So I guess it's in the same position, it's just the wire color is at least the same. Yes, they are. Okay. So, yeah. Basically kind of, ouch, it hurts to squat like that. Basically gotta flip-flop all the wires. Every single one of them. Isn't that cool? But should be plug and play otherwise. So, let me get these pins swapped around and we'll test her out. Okay, so I got the old plug here. Now you see this white tab right here. I had to use my pick here and push up on that little tab, and it popped upward. So if you have two picks, I tried picking on that tab up there and I got it to lift ever so slightly coming through the very top middle here, but it just wouldn't come out that way. So push that little white tab on the lower one and it popped up, and I'm going to get it out and we're going to see from there. Now I have just a little, I don't know what kind of pin this is, like a diaper pin, I'm guessing, an old-fashioned diaper pin. That's what I use to pop all my pins usually. It's just a little plastic tab that locks onto a little metal tab on the pin. So once you pop that, then you got to use some finesse and pull on the wire very gingerly, and it should pull out. Okay, so I got it. So I ended up having to, once that slides out a little bit, then you pick up on the little white tab and it pops right out, because it just catches on the top. Let me get out the light, and hopefully the camera will focus enough. I mean, it's just a little itty bitty plastic tab down in there on the bottom side of the pin. There. You can see the plastic the sun's shining on right in the top middle. That little plastic tab, you got to push that down. But you have to be super careful not to bust that tab, because that's what holds the pin in. And if you go to slide, the connector together and that tab's busted, it's just going to want to push the pin out. Now, you can see on the bottom there's 3 pins. I guess I'm going to have to move all of them. You can see the little storm weather protector boot comes out and the pin comes out. Now what I do is let me slide it back in here. You can hear it click like it just did. I usually try and get all the wires out of the way of the one wire you're working with. Get a gap going. Get your finger in there and do this number. So you're kind of pulling a tension against the wire, but don't do it too hard. Like I said, you could very easily end up ripping the wire out of the crimp on the pin. But that gives you some pulling force while you're trying to push the tab down. So that's how I release pins. It's not hard. And once you've got this mastered, you can go to town on modifying just about anything at any time. And it really opens up your world that I could just about do anything. I can rewire an entire connector if I need to. That is an awesome tool to have in your skill set. So, like I said, we're going to have to move all 4 wires by the looks of it. So Not a big deal. You'll have to pick out or push out these boots on the unused ones, but don't damage them because you're going to have to reuse them on the pinholes you're not going to be using. So, alrighty, let's get this done. And then once you've got all your pins in, which I can show you is identical to the new plug. So once you've got all your pins in, you just give them a slight tug test to make sure that, of course, you're listening for the audible click once you put them all the way in. And then you just give them an individual tug test, make sure they're snug and a bug in a rug, put your keeper back in, and you should be good to go. Now, got all the pins out. Since I have to move all of them, might as well just do them all, click them in all at the same time type of thing. But as you can see, they're corroded, so we're going to take a wire brush, clean them up, get some contact cleaner, do our best to clean them up before we put them together. So the main reason this is probably this corroded is because this headlight over here has had nothing but moisture in it, like nothing but an ocean of moisture in it. It's just been ridiculous. I haven't kept it dry for nothing. So yeah, we're gonna get them cleaned up, and this was a little bit more of a fight. I ended up having to use 2 picks to get this out. I got the small pick up underneath the tab from the top middle, right in the middle there, and or wherever you can get it in. Just don't be forceful. Lifted the tab up and then got another pick and pushed up on this tab right there. So focus. There you go. So. And, of course, it looks like it had been burnt or something at one point. It's getting kind of ugly looking, but be careful because then you have to go to a junkyard and find another. This is a keeper to keep those tabs from lifting up and pulling the pins out on accident. So it's important you keep that intact. And this, my friends, is why I chose to do this mod. It is quite bright. Look at that. Brightness intensity. It's hard to tell during the day, but I can tell you, just for certain, I mean, look at that. Humongous brightness difference. I don't dare say double, but it's pretty freaking wicked. So that is going to give me such a better nighttime vision. Now, granted, I got to change the LED out yet. I was just wanted to get this tested out. We'll flip on high beams, because they've got both the LEDs and the high beams, and just make sure all that works. So, LED, and here's probably where you can tell too, high beam versus low beam. I mean, just a huge difference between the two. And here, well, it should be the same. Look at that. The same. Isn't that just awesome? That's awesome. That is bright. I don't want to be on the wrong end of them lights. I tell you, I already am, but look at that. You can see the brightness difference. It's just a dramatic. Now, I understand why people probably want to do HID, the factory ones. This is a pretty cool color from the factory. It's more modern. It goes with a lot more of the modern Cadillacs at the moment. But at least these ones are. When I got in the accident, replaced the left headlight, the bulb was a different temperature or something, had been used more, I don't know, but it was a different temperature than the passenger side, and more yellow, just your standard yucky 4300 Xenon. Blech. So I changed the ballast on the bulb out from the old headlight assembly, and so they matched again. But this is going to be, I can't wait to drive at night, because this is going to be a night and day difference. I'm going to be able to actually see the road, because like I said, the fog lights outshined the headlights on the road. The high beams are impeccable. You flip them on, you can see for just about miles. It's awesome. But the low beams, you flip from high beam to low beam, and it's just, where did all the light go? It's almost a safety hazard in my mind. It is to go from so much light to so little light, because, I don't know. Just at night, you're coming up on someone's got their high beams on, they flip them off, your eyes are still adjusting, you flip yours off, and all of a sudden you can't see the road in front of you because your headlights are so dim. Well, this won't be the case now. So I am ecstatic. We're going to, get the headlight adjusted right here, but get our seal glued back on, and you're going to see, obviously, the tab's busted up top, but well, that's what the bottom one's for, I guess. We'll get that all situated. And yeah, I'm excited to see how this does at night. This is going to be awesome. This is why I wanted to do the mod, because it's just a night and day difference between both side low beams. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. And besides the fact, you know, like when you go into a tunnel, whether it's lit or not, and you're going to end up having that time where the xenon needs to warm up. Well, what if I want light right now? Well, that's where, again, where this comes in handy. LEDs, instant on. So, where is it here? That's the main focus of the beam versus the main focus of that beam. So, heck of a difference. So, yeah. Look out, here I come. So, alrighty, I'm not going to aim them up high, obviously. I'm going to try and keep them as factory as possible and see where that takes us, but it's just going to light up the road so much better. So, alright, let's get the other side done. Okay, so I got their deal from, what is it, Headlight Revolution right now, where they throw in a free pack of 194 bulbs, and, oh gee, I wish you'd frickin' see that. I can stare right at the thing, it's not even bright. Of course the camera is not going to show that worth a damn. Come on. Really? You know, and it won't let me adjust the freaking camera they updated. They won't let you adjust the brightness or darkness, because I could just show you. Trust me, it's not bright. I can stare right at the damn thing. Put it in here and it's... And this is... Get it in there. Yeah, trying to do it without seeing what you're doing. Not bright at all versus pretty dang bright. That's pretty bright for being a Chinese LED, but this is not. And besides the fact that this is more blue, which is probably what I need for that yellow lens, but that is a lot more matching of the new headlight color. So yeah, just thought I'd share that. And the nice thing about having LED in here, and I don't know how this is going to work yet, like for the winter time if you're driving in sleet or whatever, hopefully the fan and the heat going will help warm the housing up. And with the high beam on too, I don't know, because for the Xenon it still gets plenty of slush buildup. So it is what it is, but I mean, that's what the headlight washers are supposed to be for, but whatever. Getting this bastard out is tricky. Dang near cut my hand trying. It's all red and swollen now. Trying to get your hand in there to twist this stinking socket. And then to find out that somebody had glued the bastard in there, because they probably broke it. Because the little plastic tabs inside these freaking things are so brittle and fragile, it doesn't take all but kind of poking it and they snap. And then there's nothing to hold the bulb in. Like, I think this one is just sitting inside, because I had busted it, and it's just sitting there. It's actually sitting there perfect the way it's sitting. So, but just something to be aware of. Try not to use tools on it like I did. I used pliers, and you know, all you hear is a crack, and there it goes, pops out. Great. Now nothing to hold it in, and you just gotta hope it stays there. So, okay, so I got the pins wired up on this one how we need it, and you can take a picture of that, because that's, I mean, it's different than that. So green's still in the same place, tan's in the same spot. Well, I should say yellow and tan, and then purple and brown. Now, I had accidentally put the brown or the green up on top for some reason. I don't know why, because it's not how that normally is. But yeah, now everything works. I was making sure the piece of card worked, that the projections were similar. I'll have to do that again here once I get it mounted up. And then I found out why, and I knew this exactly from the start. Is it really sitting down like that? Yeah, it's supposed to, I guess. So from the accident, there's a tray. You can see it right here. Goes down underneath the air box, and that's what the fender mounts to. Actually, there it is right there. There's the damage. So this is the damage they did not fix. You can see how this is kinked over like that. It's because this panel is smushed in, and which has sucked the headlight in, and it's like the headlight is, I don't know. It just doesn't fit right. I believe the fender is supposed to be out more, and they bent this in because it's really easy to do. It's like this fender's kind of bowed out over the wheel arch a bit in order to get it to bolt up. Now, this whole panel, I don't know if it just needs to be replaced. I don't know if that bend is supposed to be in there or not, but I know that one's not, and that the way they had it in here, and I could have my headlight projection straight, but there'd be a huge ass gap right here all along the side, and in order to get that gap filled up by the headlight, I got to cock the headlight like that, and that is because the bottom is sucked in, it's pushed over. So straightening this probably wasn't a great idea. I wanted them to replace the whole damn thing, and I told them, I showed them, I had pictures. I said, hey, this guy is a problem. I want that fixed, you know, that's not right. And I got the car back, and I took the front bumper off to do the LED high beams, I believe, and that's when I noticed bastards didn't do that. And that's why my headlight is crooked, my beam pattern, at least for the low beam. Drives me bonkers. You know, you pull up to a wall and you expect a Cadillac just to flat line across with the headlights, but nope, beep, and then boop, you know. I hate that. So it just says, hey, your car's screwed up. It's like, yes, I know. So at some point I'll have to have a body shop try and replace that panel or something, because it's spot welded all, and I think it wraps around. That's probably where the problem is going to come in, is because that's, well, it may not be. It is not, actually. Look at that. Tucks in behind, but it's not. Now, they tried to tell me that the whole frame was tweaked and this and that. Well, I'm sorry. If the whole frame was tweaked, obviously something would be really funky with the aluminum bar, or it would be the whole passenger side would be off too. That's not the case. I got backed into straight on, not freaking, and it was from the bumper height up. It wasn't anything lower. It was just from literally here and up. Headlight, fender, hood, and radiator support. So, I tell me that the whole frame is tweaked, they couldn't fix it, whatever. That part annoys me, because I took it back to them and I said, hey, is there something we can do about this? They're like, well, the whole frame's tweaked. We could put, you know, about $3,500 into framework. And I'm like, whatever. Just whatever. I mean, they gave me a good deal on it. They cut a lot of stuff out of the price. They let me bring all my own parts and stuff like that. So they worked with me. But at the same time, because they helped me out so much, I mean, they painted the hood, and that wasn't on the agenda. They painted the door, that wasn't on the agenda, and they didn't charge me for that. We talked about painting the fender, that was it. The hood was in pretty okay-ish shape. It did have a gouge in it, but I was willing to live with it. I was like, frick it, you know, it's not dented, leave it. If it matches, let's go. But I tell you. But I showed up, and it just about crapped my pants because it wasn't done yet. And I had looked at it. They show it too. Had shown me the car, and I saw the hood was painted, the fender was painted, the door was painted, the freaking radiator support. I was like, And he goes, oh, don't worry, we're not charging you for that. We just couldn't leave it be. I mean, it just, you know, it would have been a shame to leave it, you know, with a gouge in it. And I'm glad they did the pinstripe, although I got to get the rest of it done now, because the door and the fender are new pinstripe, and the rest is getting kind of faded and peeling off. But and then, you know, they hadn't cut and buffed it yet, and it did not match at all. And I was like, those panels are darker. That's not good, but it worked out color-wise. It's just I'm not so thrilled on the headlight positioning. And the bumper, everything's squished in, and I just tell you, it just. So anyway, but headlights are done, so I'm gonna get this thing buttoned up. Oh, I got my new turn signal bulbs here. The GTR2 carbide or GTR carbide 2 whatever. So we're gonna pop them in for the turn signals because the halogens just suck. But and those will be mega bright, and you'll see those once I get the bumper put on. So not difficult at all. Just take the cap off, and oh, it was loose already. Okay, well anyway, and there's the bulb. So zippity doo that day. I don't know why this one just didn't want to. Oh. Something with it broke. Oh no, I was missing the gasket. That's what happened. Somehow I lost the gasket around there, so I don't know. But it does have an O-ring, so it'll be fine. Just leave it there. It stayed. I mean, it's flush. It stayed. So, not worried about it. Just gotta swap them out because they are nowhere near bright enough for being so low to the ground. I want them, especially for semis and stuff. I want them higher, brighter, so they can see them higher up and whatnot. But they'll definitely see me coming with the low beams now, for sure. I just love the fact that it's instant on, instant off. I always felt kind of guilty if I had to flash a trucker or something to let them know, hey, get in front of me. Not having the headlights on and you flick the high beams. I mean, you're kicking the Xenon on as well. And, you know, you're just doing it for a burst. So I felt bad for igniting the Xenon, letting it off. Igniting the Xenon, let it off. And it's like, you know, I don't know if that's good or bad for it, but I just don't like doing that. I just much rather, you know, with LEDs, it's, you know, on, off. They can clearly see that right away, so that's good. But, so anyway, we'll get my little rubber doohickeys back in and get our keeper back in and get her put back together and looking pretty, and we'll see you on the bright side. Well, boys and girls, welcome to the bright side. Oops, looks like I really got to adjust the headlights. Well, that's fine. Better to know now. But, let's take a look at how you can really see the crookedness of the left headlight. Oh, yeah. Kablam. Doesn't look like much now, but once you get out on the road, she's going to be just a total night and day difference. But that headlight is really crooked on the left. Holy. But, freaking right. Because now I can... Oh, it does just flash. Huh, I didn't know it just flashed the high beam. No, that's both of them. That's both of them. I say I noticed that before. But now, yeah. And then we've got our parking lights. Now, shoot. I don't really have a good way to show you this. I'm going to fire it up. Okay, ready? Actually, it's not doing it. Why isn't it doing it? Huh, making a liar out of me. Well, that's because it's bright out. It's dark in here. But now you'll be able to see my blinkers over my headlights. That's awesome. Choked myself out. But, heck yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's a heck of a lot brighter. But I gotta adjust that left one up a bit. Not too much, just enough to be able to see. But it's either that or the right one's way up, which is a possibility. I don't know. I am not sure. I'd say that's up high. I honestly don't recall, but I'll take a look and see what the... I can adjust them tonight. I have a video of me doing the LED to halogen, or the LED high beam to the Xenon low beam on the other side, so I'll have to pull the car up to the shed door and adjust from there. Okay. bit of a jank connection there. That's cool. It's on. So, had a bit of a poopy connection. But, try and get that going. But dude, I'm telling you, and this is, I don't know if you can tell, but where the light's hitting the lens and refracting because of the cracks in it. I guess this one's got some too. Yeah. Oh, I just can't wait to get out on the road, man. That's just a night and day difference. High beam I knew was just awesome, but low beam, that's what we're looking for. So, yeah. One day here, sometime, I'll have to get the guts up and try and pull this out a little bit to try and get our headlight level, because that's really obnoxious. I mean, I wish I could get it to allow me to adjust the bright and the dark, but you can tell how crooked it is. It's just ugly. Blah. But at least it's bright. Yeah, so we'll have to check it out tonight.